Good evening, and welcome to another stupendous version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your stupefied and startled host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Okay, I know I just did a diatribe, but something's happened today in the political arena, which merits my discussion. And I'm going to pop open a fireball in celebration that apparently the Goppers are kind of letting loose the dogs today, and it was nice to see. I hope it continues. But two things happened at the same time. I saw somehow it got through my feed something that wasn't about Orangey's foibles, about these charges on Petri dish are finally being officially levied. And it's nice to see because it's obvious. And I guess this Jason Smith guy, head of the Ways and Means Committee, is getting to the bottom of where the money went and where it came from and what it was doing and why and who. And so that's good. So I can foresee some things happening on that front as far as the left-wing hypocrites. No doubt you'll see some homophobic, disparaging remark because this Jason Smith guy is the kind of guy that the D's absolutely despise. Someone who's not on the reservation, not in the colony, not on the plantation for whatever, marginal group that the D's take for granted that is starting to slip away. Now, that will happen. You'll see little snippets. It won't be so obvious. They won't use the F word, but they'll just say something. You watch. Now, the second thing I saw after I heard the litany, and he said there's hundreds of pages of evidence if you guys want to read it. And they're not even taking the press seriously anymore as far as, you're going to get to the bottom of this. There was a day and age in my lifetime when the news coming out from these committees would be earth-shaking, and every single reporter would be running to their phone to phone it in. Big scoop. We're going to tear apart this president. They didn't care who the president was. If there was dirt on the guy, they were going to run with it. Now, it's different. Very, very, very different. Most of the press do not want to press on anything. They're not interested. The first question out of one of these ridiculous frauds, posers, young kids that think they know anything, which they don't. First question is, what's the timeline on these charges? I don't think he was even president. He wasn't in office when he did all these bad things. I mean, on its face, it's ridiculous, but let's delve into it. The guy's implying, and he said it outright, William Barr was the Attorney General. How come nothing was done then? Yeah, in 2019, Orangey's gonna tell Barr, who's a total swamp monster, to go after this Biden character on charges of bribery. And everybody's just going to put up with it. That's not weaponization. That's totally fair for him to do that. People have the brain capacity of a Dead Sea cucumber, and I'm kind of tired of being on the planet with everybody. If people can't see it. They're going to deny all they want and try to, run interference right up until the powers that be decide that it's time to cast Petri dish aside, and then they will all follow suit for the good of the party, for the good of Angkar, as they called it in Cambodia, when 1/3 of the population was murdered. Now, let's go on to the other hearing that was kind of gratifying to see. Ted Cruz, who I don't have anything against, I like him, got up and got really mad about the fact that we're seeing anarchy and we're seeing total chaos and we're seeing a total, invasion, destruction, total nihilism, which I endorse, but I mean, he's getting mad about it. Vis-a-vis the border, which anybody should be concerned about. And even if you want to see immigration, it should be in a more orderly fashion than putting them on colonies, reservations, and dispersing them to large cities to sleep on the street, making the quality of life in those cities worse and worse. And even if only 5% of the people coming in have criminal intentions, that's, what's 5% of 9 million? And you do the math. That's how many criminals are there in a conservative estimate. Okay. So they want to do something about it. It's about time. Now, I'm not going to say too much. I wanted to comment how, these Goppers are finally getting off their butts. Now they're putting everything off, just like I do. Procrastinating. Let's unleash the dogs on these issues, and at the same time try to keep the government from shutting down. So it should be an interesting 2 or 3 days coming up. But I predict that the government will be shut down, and there's going to be a big brouhaha about that. Everybody will blame everybody. And I won't give a crap one way or the other, except I don't think that those guys should get paid. If they shut it down, then they lose their pay for that week. And then there'd be more pressure on the underlings who are under the elitists. I'm just going to ramble, because what's going to happen is, if there's justice served, then a lot of people have to go to prison, and it doesn't look good for what used to be America, because most of the government, including the senators and congressmen, would have to be imprisoned. You can see it happening now. Menendez, and then it's like the D's will do anything to gaslight. The guy has bills, wads of cash, like it's frickin' Goodfellas, in the lining of his jacket in his closet. He's got gold bars all over the place, and he's got a car out front, almost as if he's daring anybody to do anything about it. And somehow the D's managed to say this is racism. It's only because he's Hispanic that you're going after this guy. And we would go after Ted Cruz in a heartbeat, but it's because he's a bad person. So the ridiculousness is ridiculous. I have nothing to say. I wanted to get this in. It's not even a real diatribe. It's just an addendum and an insertion of what happened today. And I'm happy for the Goppers. I hope they get to the bottom of everything until they have to put themselves in jail. So we'll see how things pan out, but it's going to be an exciting 3 or 4 days, I'll tell you, because the government's kind of imploding. Love to see it. I'm in a good mood. Whenever I see the government in chaos, all's well with the world. So, l'chaim. Enjoy the day.